Okay, so we're ready to create our site. Now once you hit create, then it locks that URL in, and that cannot be used by anyone else. So I've hit create and it will load up. By the way, Google are sort of acknowledging the fact that sites are a bit clunky and is not as streamlined as some of their other products. So apparently they're investing a fair bit of research and development time into Google Sites. All right, so just by way of instruction around what we're seeing here, this part of the site is a site banner. Okay, so potentially we could have our own little logo up here, which we could develop, and each school could then go and customize. That's just simply a picture, and we could do that and develop that. We don't need any sort of specialized photoshopping experience. We could just do it in Google Drive drawing. So I'll show you how to do that. What you're seeing here is this is the home page, as you can see there, and so to edit any page, it's just the pencil button up the top here to edit the page. And then you get a standard sort of editing toolbar that appears here, and I could then go in and edit this particular page. Now, of particular importance to us is the insert menu. So you've got your insert object, so we could have an image, a link, a table of contents. That's really useful if you've assigned one page to a whole framework, then the table of contents could sit over on the right hand side and literally hyperlink to elements within the page, so that's useful. Horizontal lines, a bit more for aesthetics. We've got our gadget, so recently list items. You can have a post type system operating, almost like a blog. HTML boxes could be used for embedding things like animations and things within your site itself. And there are other third-party developed gadgets that we could add that I'm going to show you in a moment. Of particular relevance to us is this function here. So you can see there, Google Drive. The ability for us to embed a folder in our Google site is going to be incredibly useful for us. Okay. Can you now see why we spent significant time before developing this Google Drive folder structure? Because that's now going to feed into our site. Okay. What it means is the site is the place that students and staff are directed to, but most of the content is developed in Drive. Okay, and you might say, well, why do we even worry about the site? I suppose the site serves the purpose of the kids and the staff accessing it, and the ability to limit access is useful within that. Okay, so what we'll do now is we'll just start setting up the site, and we'll talk about different forms of navigation. Okay, so we've got our home page here. Obviously, it's different to a Google Doc in that it doesn't automatically save. You have to hit save up the top here whenever you make changes, okay, to a page. It's also dissimilar to a Google Doc in that only one person can be editing a page at any one time, okay? It's not co-editing of a page. We could be working on different pages in the site collaboratively, but we can't actually work on the same page simultaneously. Now, if I wanted to create a new page within this site, and I might call it teachers or vet staff. It asks me select a template to use. So the default is a web page template, but there are other web page type aspects. So you could have an announcements page, so just posts that appear, and that might be useful for your front page. You might have, vet announcements that might appear. A filing cabinet's more like a Google Drive folder structure. So we're using Google Drive. So with that filing cabinet, you upload rather than having it in Drive. A list is just a very short, concise hyperlink list. and a start page I've never actually used. I just think it's a landing page. I can't really see a purpose for this type of thing here. So put it at the top level. It's a web page. The page is called Vet Staff, and I hit create. So can you see here now and it goes obviously into the editing mode. What it has done in the sidebar navigation, it's automatically added that as a link. All right, so that's the benefit, I suppose, of having the sidebar. Every time you add a page, it automatically adds it to the side as a hyperlink, and so you don't have to do that at all. It's an automated process. If we wanted to move towards a horizontal navigation structure, that is across the top here, that's a manual process. That said, I mean, it's fairly simple to do. All right, so at the moment we've got our home page. Now, discussions about what appears on our home page, we've talked about a scrolling image gallery, which would be nice, of students completing work placement, students engaged in practicals, etc. in the hospitality kitchen. Like all those things could be embedded on that front page. You want an engaging space for kids to come back to. So as you can see, this is a very engaging space at the moment. So yeah, yeah, we'll come back and we'll work on this. So what we've decided in our plan over here, we've got a VET staff page, which we are going to lock down just to staff, and I'll talk about page level permissions very, very shortly. In the meantime, what we're going to do is at the top level, we're going to create some new pages. So up the top here, new page. Our new page is going to be called Framework/BEC1. Now remembering we're creating this as a template, so each school can come in and tailor make it to suit themselves. So at one school, School A, they might do hospitality. At School B, they might do entertainment, and they might order those frameworks in alphabetical or popularity or whatever. So we hit create.
Teacher significance.
Yeah. So you can see that it orders that automatically in the sidebar navigation. But personally, I don't think it's all that appealing in terms of its the ability to link to it, whatever. Yeah.
Let's say business services there, if it's in business services.
Yeah, that would appear at the top. If I put in, automotive, that would appear before business services. It would be based on alphabetical order. With the horizontal navigation, which we'll look at in a moment, we can actually order it whichever way we want. Okay, so what I'll do now is we'll just create the subsequent pages. Endorse course 2. Okay, it's at the top level. We'll just keep creating. Now I'm going to create 5 of these, so I'm just going to pause this video at the moment because you don't need to see me do all those. Okay, so just looking at some of the extra material that Google puts into its pages. You can see the add files area here and the comments. We don't need the add files because based on our bit of a site plan, we're going to use Google Drive to host a lot of these files. So the way we're going to set it up is we don't want this and we don't want the comments contained within these pages. So I'm going to get rid of those. How do you do that? Well, it's a setting, so we just go up to the settings button, page settings, and then back down here I untick allow comments and untick allow attachments and hit save. And you can see then that goes there. Same thing that happens for our home page. You can see that that's all good. Vet staff, we'll just double check that as well. Okay, so settings, page settings, untick those two. Alright, so one of the requirements for this site was the ease with which we want teachers to be able to access the CEO Vocational Education Intranet page. Now yes, they could just bookmark that address. What we're proposing here is because we want them to use this site for teaching and learning and for vet compliance, that we make it almost like a one-stop shop. So the intent here is to embed this site within our Google site structure. All right, so they don't have to click on another link to go and get to the site. It's actually embedded within the page. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a new page. In fact, what I might do is I'll just copy a page again so we get those settings. So we'll just copy a page and we'll call our page CEO Intranet Vet, and we'll copy that page. And now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go over to the intranet page. Now you can see here this site is password protected, so only our teachers can gain access to it, so the kids can't gain access to this particular site. What we'll do is we'll set it up in the site structure that they can't anyway with page level permissions. Okay, so I copied this address and I'm coming back to my intranet page here. And now what I'm going to do is going to insert. Now what am I going to insert? It's a gadget called an iframe. So this is to include another web page in your Google site. It tells you what I'm going to be doing. So I select that. So this works for most web pages. You could put in some industry websites, embed them within your
The CEC one.
CEC, all these sorts of things, okay? So I just paste that URL in there now. It's going to have an internal scroll bar. The width, I wanted to make it the width of my site. So instead of 600 pixels, which is the unit of measurement for screens, I'm going with percent, so I'm going to make it 100%. And the height, I mean, you can change that if you want. Do I want a border around it? No. Do I want a display title? No. The view, I'm happy with that. So just choose OK. And why am I seeing it displayed like this? Because I haven't saved the page at the moment. Once I hit save, it displays the page within there. Now, why has it automatically recognised that I am logged in? Because I have logged in up here. Okay, so when teachers start using this, what they will see on this screen is a prompt to log in to the intranet. Okay, they will see that prompt there.
And can I just say,
You recorded all that? Yeah.
on here, if you scroll down, it'll have all the teacher training dates for staff. It'll have hyperlinks to the iSigs and the CEC website all there.
Yeah.
So you don't need to now put those in, it's all there on
Yeah.
the landing page.
Great, great. All right, so that's useful, yes? Okay, so we've got that in CEO Intranet. All right, just going to stop it here and then we're going to take you through the horizontal navigation.